In this video, I'm going to talk about analysis paralysis. So I'm Daniel Norton. I'm a photographer in New York. Do videos like this about philosophy, business, technique, and photography and the arts. So if you guys are interested, please subscribe and let's get to it. So this term is used quite a bit, analysis paralysis, meaning that you spend so much time thinking about what you're going to do that you do nothing. And I think in the arts, photography especially, this happens quite a bit. You find that people often overthink what they're doing and then spend tons and tons of time in prep that is wasted, essentially. Now, that's not to say, and I did a video before about pre-visualization, that you shouldn't think about what you're doing. And actually, if you have basically a bit of a clear plan before you get to like the gear part of the actual, technique part of shooting, you'll probably have less of this because you'll already know what you got to do, assuming that you understand your equipment. So I think the problem with it is pretty obvious, but I guess I'll state it anyways. If you do this, then you'll end up shooting less and creating less because you're going to spend much more time worrying about what you're trying to do than actually do it, right? The goal is for us to shoot as much as possible and to enjoy it and to create awesome stuff and to grow and get better. So I'm going to kind of throw out some tips here, I think. This is the way I'll address this. So what we want to do is, number one, when you know you want to do a shoot, let's say I'm just going to think of something here. Okay, your friend calls you. They say, oh, my sister wants to be a model. And I know that you're a photographer, or an actor, and could you make some photos of her, right? So at this point, you've got all your gear that you spend all this money, and it's all its cases and everything. You start laying it out and you're trying to think, this is what you shouldn't do, right? Right there, you're going to run into problems because you're looking at what you have, kind of like, okay, well, I have a flash, so I can do this kind of shot, versus the shot you want to do, and then thinking about it backwards. So I think what you want to do to avoid that is don't get to the part where there's so many options, meaning the equipment options, until you know what you're going to shoot. So you're going to be like, well, okay, what? Turns out, oh yeah, she wants a, outside, smiley shot in the park. Okay, well, this changes everything, right? I don't have to overthink a million things I can do. I know now that when I need to shoot something in the park I'm going to take one of two ways. I'm either going to shoot it with more or less natural light, and probably use reflectors or silks if I have that to control the sun, or I'm going to use flash to make it more dramatic. Sounds like if you're talking about smiley, more commercial, you probably don't want hard flash blasting in there. It's not some edgy shot. So probably going to shoot it with available light. Let me get some reflectors, I'm on my way, right? I don't have to overthink it. I don't have to go through too many steps of trying to figure out what equipment I might need because I already know that's what's going to give me the shot that I want. Now, how do I know that? Experience, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. No matter how much you think about it, you'll never, ever know exactly the piece of gear you're going to need until you've kind of had a similar situation, which is just another reason why you should shoot more, Go out to various situations. Go out to the park. Go out to, an office building, a conference room, whatever, that you can get your hands on. Go out to various places and bring just reflectors or bring just speed lights or bring just your strobe kit and make shots. Because then that becomes the kind of the stepping off points, right? You've got this experience. You're like, okay, well, I've done this before, even if it was just for a quick test shoot of somebody that I never even put the shot in my portfolio because it wasn't that great of a shot. I was just testing something. That's why you're doing that kind of stuff, right? You're building up this library of instant results, if you will. Like you know what's going to happen, so you don't have to overthink it. The main reason why we have this paralysis is because we're unsure, right? We're unsure of the result, so we're overthinking what we have to do to get the result we want because we don't know what gives us that result. So what we really want to do is, as much as possible, know what different things will give us. So I talk about this kind of catch-22 thing all the time, where like you need to know what gear does so you know which gear to bring, but you won't know which gear to bring until you've used it. So you got to bring it, And again, it comes down to just experience. There's nothing you can do but just do it. And I think that's the thing, right? A lot of times people tell me, oh, well, it's hard for me to find people to shoot. It's hard for me to find things to do this. Find it, because that's going to help you, right? You need to find them. How am I going to find? There's a million people that want their photo made. Millions of them. Maybe they're not at all exactly the person you want to shoot. Maybe you want to shoot the cover model that's on Vogue last month. You're not probably going to do that, right? So find somebody to photograph. Anybody, anything. Buy a mannequin head if you need to. I mean, if you watch Seth's channel, Seth does tons of stuff where he's teaching you guys techniques where he just uses the mannequin in our studio. And I'll tell you what, that teaches you a lot, because you can't hide behind a great expression or fun personality in the photo. It's literally the light. So it's a good way to work when you're just testing things. Because ultimately what you want to do, like I was saying, is you want to have these kind of like pre-set up finished products in your head that you can achieve with a certain thing. Now, I know that, and you see us do this a lot, especially when I do live streams from Adorama, where I just like start, riffing or whatever, and we do tons of different stuff with an object that's not, modifier, I'll say, that's not necessarily made for that. That's just kind of show you guys versatility. But at the same time, you want to pick the tool for the job, right? I could take a Leatherman tool, which I was keeping in all my bags, and I can do a lot of things with it in the pinch. But yeah, I'd rather have an actual tool. I'd rather have proper Dino's nose pliers. I'd rather have a wrench. I'd rather have a screwdriver. So what you want to do is you want to know, oh, I'm going to, frame a house today, so I'm going to bring a hammer, right? So I'm going to go shoot a moody, super dark sky, edgy shot in the park. Okay, I want to bring some hard light so I can overpower the sky, and I want to have sharp shadows so it makes sense. Because a big soft light, gonna editorialize here for a second, if this is an all editorializer. Yeah, these like giant soft boxes outside making the sky dark don't make any sense to me, because that would not be what light does. To me, those are the weirdest shots I ever saw. If you're making the sky dark and dramatic, then you should have dark, edgy light on the subject, because that's the kind of light that would do that, right? When the sun hits you, I mean, just think about it. If you're standing on the beach and the sun is blazing on you and somebody makes a photo of you with you in the shot and the sky's in the background, the sky will be blue because you're exposing for the bright sun, which is the same exposure as the sky. If you are standing in the shade, you will be brighter, or I should say the sky will be brighter, because you'll have to open up the exposure to make you properly exposed. So I don't get the giant soft light outside, but that's, unless with the dark blue sky. I get it with a creamy sky. That's a little side road there. Whew. Come back to that in a minute. Style is style, do what you want. But what I'm saying here is that in order to avoid this, we need to know what things do. And rental, sharing with other photographers. Like I said, you've got friends that are photographers, I would imagine, So, and if you don't, find some meetup groups, whatever. Try different pieces of gear. Learn what they do. That way, when the time comes to do a job or to make a shot, you will not be like paralyzed with too many options. Like, oh my God, I have 17 modifiers. Which one do I want to bring? Or they're in front of you, they throw out a new thing. Which one will do the thing I want? Right? Because I have too many, and all I did was I looked at the boxes or pictures that came with them, which are completely useless in most cases. You need to use it, and that's going to tell you. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I've seen, this is one of my pet peeves, videos and stuff where some people use beauty dishes. Wrong. Now, yeah, you can use a beauty dish any damn way you want. Yes, I know. But it's made for a specific thing. So it's like, if you can use a beauty dish, use it for what a beauty dish is made for, in my opinion. If it's the only thing you have and you have to make other shots, okay, do it. But a lot of times people buy something like a beauty dish or a ring flash that's very specific because they saw cool shots with it, and it's not even really using it the way that would maximize its potential. In other words, you could have used something else that was probably less expensive to do the same thing and maybe not have been as cool. So knowing what each piece of gear does, and even rolling back further than that, just understanding how light works will tell you what most gear does. Like, you could show me a piece of photo equipment or light equipment that I've never used before, and I can pretty much guess pretty damn close to exactly what the light's going to look like from it, because I've used enough other stuff, that I can tell. Oh, it's this big and silver. Well, it's going to be hard. It's going to be specular. It's gigantic and silver. It's going to be soft and specular. If it's gigantic and white, it's going to be, soft and diffuse. It's like it's kind of how light works. It doesn't really matter, what the item is, right? So knowing that, right? Knowing your basics, understanding what different things do, then testing all your gear so you know exactly what it does when the time comes, will allow you, when you're getting ready to go out to shoot a job, to take just the gear you need and not 17 cases of gear you're never going to use and then sitting there staring at it and trying a million things. In the end, if I go and make a portrait, if I look at like at the idea of what I need to make, and I'm like, okay, well that's a pretty simple portrait. I'm going to bring, I'm going to bring a set of grids and a softbox, whatever, two lights, and that's how I'm going to shoot it because I kind of feel like I'm going to drag the shutter for the room. It's in an environment, and then I get there and they suddenly want something different. Yeah, I will be able to make different stuff with the things I brought because I have that experience. I don't need to bring 17 different other tools. If there's something very specific that they want that only a certain tool would use, let's say a projector or something, well, then too bad you should have told me. I'm not going to bring that on every shoot just because to have it. Because all that does is make you work less, meaning, not work less meaning it's easier, but work less meaning you shoot less because you're thinking about stuff too much. So keep it simple, figure out what different stuff does, learn it. Know that when somebody asks you for a certain kind of shot or you're going someplace to achieve a certain kind of shot, know what equipment does that. And then the equipment you don't really understand or know what it does, take that out and test it with whoever will get in front of your lens or whatever. If it has to be a product or whatever, until you know what it does. Then you'll grab it when you need it. You'll grab the beauty dish when you need it. You'll grab the ring flash when you need it. You'll grab the octabox. You'll grab this regular softbox. You'll grab a strip box. You'll take the things that work for you to create the shots that you want to get. And that is how you'll be able to work more efficiently and really honestly get more stuff done. And the more stuff you get done, the more you'll shoot. The more you shoot, the better you get. Because experience is only going to make you better. And that's a whole other video. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave that one. Let me know how you guys do it. Do you have certain kits for certain types of projects? Do you have so little equipment that you just bring it all? Do you have so much equipment that you never know what to do? Let me know what you guys do. I'm notorious for telling people not to buy stuff because I feel like a lot of times when they come to me, they're like, they want to do something and they don't understand why they can't do it, so they want to throw a tool at it. And honestly, that's not always the case. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you need something to special to do it, but a lot of times it's not. So let me know what you guys think about that kind of stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell and you'll get notifications, and I'll see you next time.